afternoon, guys. How are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. It is the weekend and it is very hot. It's about 32 degrees, which I know for other parts of the world, that isn't that hot. For us Brits, it's sweltering. Like, it's just, I hate it. We know, I moan about it all the time, but I really don't like it at all. I think by the time this vlog goes out, it's meant to have cooled. And in fact, Monday, it's meant to be 20 degrees. And I can't tell you how excited I am. I'm going to be thrilled Monday morning. I'll be up and be like, yes, cool weather has returned. We want rain though. Just everywhere looks so yellow. It's scary. And there's been so many fires around here. I mean, we've got an incredible view where we live. And so when you look out, we can see for miles, and the amount of fires we've been seeing over the last few days is bonkers. I'm guessing farm machinery fires. There's been a lot of haymaking recently, barn fires, all sorts going on. It's really scary. Anyway, slightly different vlog for you this week. It is a sort of schooling video, but not quite. It's my approach to riding a new horse and how I kind of figure out how they like to be ridden, what I like to work on, because every now and then I will get someone approach me asking me to school their horse while they're on holiday. So it's going to be a horse that I don't ride regularly, and it's quite pressurizing, I find. Certainly horses higher up the level, I find it more pressurizing, because if you are working a horse that is competing, you know, advanced, medium, above in dressage, or, you know, 3-star or above in eventing, they are very fine-tuned to their rider, and it takes a bit to figure out all the buttons, to work out how a horse likes to be ridden, and also to kind of, I guess, work out its weaknesses and what you think you might be able to help it work and improve on. And this horse that I'm riding for, I think it's going to be 6 days, he is advanced medium, schooling slightly higher at home. And yeah, he is very fine-tuned to his rider. So I can tell you, for the first 3 days, I felt like I was all over the place on him. He wouldn't be my personal ideal horse. I love riding him. I mean, it's such a treat. This is the bits in my job that I love, but he wouldn't be my horse. He's nearly too powerful actually for me. He slightly throws me a lot in the saddle. But yeah, I'll show you some video clips. I'm going to put it out there. It's bad filming. I didn't take my Insta360 flow because I just didn't want the hassle of setting up and everything. So it is just clips on the fence, but I hope it'll still be really interesting. This was my first schooling session back since February. I think that's when I last rode this horse, and even then it was only for like 3 days. So he is so much fun to ride. He is just a joy. Did give him a very good warm-up before we got into this session, don't worry guys. I tend to like to do movements from whatever level they're working at, to figure out the buttons, to figure out what their weaknesses might be. So this horse is working advanced medium. So we did some half pass, some flying changes, some simple changes, counter canter, medium canter, so that I could really get used to him. You know, it's quite a bit when you get on a new horse, isn't it, to, you know, find your balance with them, especially when they are quite powerful. So for me, his weak areas would be that he can be a little bit tight in the neck. He tends to drop his pole a little bit too much sometimes. He is quite strong in the contact and lacks a little bit of suppleness for my liking. My weak spots would be that I look a little bit all over the place because of trying to find my balance with him. Reins were far too short. I could drive myself insane watching these because I'm like, why are your reins so short? And at times my heels were too low. So plenty for me to work on as well. But it was a good kind of get to know you session. It's never going to look pretty because you're trying to figure each other out. This was session number 2, equally hot, equally tons of flies around. Had him in a double bridle this time. He is used to competing in a double bridle. I have not ridden in a double for a very long time. So, you know, it took me a little bit of time to get used to having 2 sets of reins again. Though I wouldn't personally have him in it, there were actually some positives from him being in it. He wasn't as strong. I actually thought his neck and head was actually better. I think he didn't look quite as tight. I just found it was quite a lot in his mouth and he perhaps didn't need it. It felt like he had a bit of a handbrake on. But again, that could just be me because I haven't ridden one for such a long time. Lots of lateral work in this session, working on half pass and the leg yield. Really trying to focus on making sure that I keep my hands nice and forward, that I don't over shorten the rein. lots of walk breaks because it was so hot. Also, just trying to make sure, I do know that I look down at my hands. It's an awful habit. I need to stop doing that. Making sure that I was in balance with him, that I was kept him forward enough, because sometimes with strong horses it's very easy to not hold on to them but slow the rhythm down too much, take away all the energy, and you don't want that. So just making sure that I was still riding him forward into the downward transitions and not, you know, putting a handbrake on or anything like that. But he's such a handsome horse, he's gorgeous. And again, the canter, he just didn't feel like he was dragging me as much, which was lovely. This is in the half passes, these were areas where I really felt like working on his suppleness would be great. Don't look at my flying change too much, guys. I know it's bad. So this is the third and final session. I wasn't going to film it because I intended on just doing a stretchy session, but I'm so pleased I did because I just love the way he went. So I call it a stretchy session, but that doesn't mean going around with his nose on the floor the entire time. It just meant no kind of collected work, allowing him to be really loose and open in the frame, to really work on getting him to kind of round over the back, to stay really soft, feel really floaty. And oh my goodness, I just love the way he went. I had to work really hard not to interfere, to just sort of sit quietly, just use my seat, really gets your core going, and not to over shorten my reins, but for him to just carry himself. And I love how much looser he looked. Could you do a dressage test like this? Maybe at the lower levels, but certainly not at advanced medium. But for me, he felt so much floatier, and he wasn't as strong as in the hand. And I liked his activity. You know, he just didn't look anywhere near as tight either. So I was loving every second of this session. And when I did pick him up a little bit at the end, I was still very conscious not to interfere with the front end. And I still felt like the balance was a lot better. And there was a kind of calmness to his work. I thought his flying changes were improved. Don't look at my position. So all in all, I absolutely loved this session.